Good evening, welcome back to Poetry Love Buzz. It is I, ZM Wise, and here I am with another home recording just for you. I'd like to take a few moments to tell you about a certain experience that I went through a couple of years ago. Prior to this experience, I hadn't a single clue about what MDMA was. I heard the acronym in passing, but had no knowledge of it. Then, when I heard it in context, I took MDMA, and the person was extremely excited about it. I said, okay, I think I understand what's going on. They're either talking about a substance or some sort of amazing course. First of all, speaking of the word substance, I'm glad that the stigma of the word drug has been eliminated. We can successfully separate certain drugs like cannabis and psychedelics and other substances that can potentially enhance one's life, can potentially enhance one's thinking when used in the proper dosage, of course. And then, of course, meth, cocaine, heroin, hard drugs, and more that are still condemned. So, this particular experience took place when I went on a trip. I'm not going to discuss who I was with, but I trusted him with my life. He's very dear to me, this fellow, and he told me about it, how it could potentially help you at least tame or manage PTSD. Some people, especially underground therapists, have been claiming that they can cure PTSD with either MDMA or even certain psychedelics, like acid. It seemed too good to be true, because curing PTSD, it just didn't click with me. And after my particular trauma, it didn't bode well with me. So I kept an open mind. I was wanting to see what this would do, and I was told that this particular substance, MDMA, which is the purest form of ecstasy, or Molly, which is mixed with other chemicals, some more lethal than others, could potentially trigger a purging of emotions or a purging of reactions to my PTSD. I stared at this salt crystal, what looked like a salt crystal, for about 20 minutes. Wasn't completely sure if I wanted to go through with this. What would happen to me? This fellow assured me that this was the proper dosage, and that while I was under the spell, I would potentially ask for a bit more. He would give me the maximum dosage, and then that's it. Because any more, and MDMA can cause brain damage. It's part of the reason why they suggest waiting at least 3 months to take it again. So I stared at it. I stared back at the fellow. He was excited for me to go through this undertaking. So something inside me said, you know what? Screw it. So I just popped it in my mouth. It tasted disgusting. It pretty much tasted like a crystal of salt. So I chased it down with some good old H2O and just waited. And I turned on my voice recorder. I didn't have my video recorder with me, so I wanted to record what I would sound like, what I would say. Any sort of golden thoughts that I would have under this trance. And started my journey. Nothing happened for about a half hour. Then all of a sudden, everything started moving just a little bit faster. The pace picked up as much as humanly possible. My heart rate started to elevate. Started to feel incredibly amazing. According to the voice recorder, I was speaking at practically a mile a minute. about goodness knows what, emotional confessions or the arts. And this fellow was listening to me very intently, and then he finally suggested that I stop talking for a while. Because, like I said, I was supposed to go through a purge of emotions, purge of reactions, and I was told that depending on the trauma, the reaction might be larger or smaller. Some people laugh, some people cry, some people scream, some people throw up. And apparently, regurgitation indicates the largest of the traumas. But I don't really like to rank traumas. But from what I can remember, and according to the voice recorder, I laughed, cried, and screamed a bit. It was extremely heavy. I let out this volcanic burst of emotions, this ocean of tears that I was holding back for goodness knows how long. And everything just made sense. I didn't like confronting these feelings, but nevertheless I did. This fellow tested my mindset, where I was at in regards to loving of the self. I said, I like myself. I deserve to love myself. Do I love myself? Absolutely not. Still have a long way to go before I can officially say that. Almost there. Almost there. I've been doing much better at attempting to recapture my self-esteem that I once had when I was, 7, 8. And it's been a very arduous journey, but mark my words, I've been making progress little by little. And yes, it upsets me that I can't say that I love myself, but it's the truth. I fake it until I make it, concerning compliments, an assortment of compliments, but beyond that, believing them is an entirely different animal. So, after the come down, I noticed that what felt like, I kid you not, it just felt like 15 or 20 minutes. Nearly 8 hours had passed. 8 hours. It was a beauty of science that I had experienced. And I did ask for the maximum dosage, about halfway, and he gave it to me. Because it felt amazing. It was, it was an experience like no other. And for those of you who know me, I'm completely straight edge. The only time I'll indulge in alcohol is when I finish writing a book or when I finish typing and editing a book. It's a symbol of accomplishment, just one glass of wine. Also because I'm a featherweight. Now, just because I'm straight edge, I'm not the type to be so snobbish and condemn others for indulging in whatever substance that they choose. It's completely up to them. Recreationally, it's just not the best idea for me. And I know myself. And I don't give in to such peer pressure. So, I already wrote a poem about this experience. I have yet to write an essay. I recorded an idea about the essay. Of course, I'll be using the archival audio recordings. And definitely be collecting these audio recordings as I try certain psychedelics. And not all of them, mind you, but some. Some are a bit too intense for me. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. In the comments section, talk to me about your MDMA experience. I want to know. I would love to know. Poetry lives. Long live the arts.